Do I not have soap there on the dishes? What's up, Ahri? Good to see you, buddy. Back on the Ted Jones World podcast, dude. Good to see you. You're always a happy-go-lucky guy. So happy to have you on the pod, bro. In person with other humans. You know what I mean?
Oh, I hide it really well.
That's kind of the same thing as me.
Yeah.
You're wearing Wimbledon green today.
Yeah.
Did you were you happy with the end result of that tournament?
I feel like
men and women's. You know.
I mean I love Ons Jobert, so I was like really sad to see her lose.
Yeah, dude.
But it's cool to see like an unranked, like teenager. I don't know how old she was, maybe 19 or something.
Vondrosa?
Yeah, it was like super cool.
Yeah.
And I love watching Djokovic lose. I mean,
really,
he's so easy to hate. If you spend 20, 30 years focusing on one singular thing, you don't develop as a human being in all the other things. It's impossible. I know this from just being a father. You see these growth because like you see these growth spurts when kids start to grow and develop. One thing when they start to talk, when they're one, everything else starts to get all fucked. Like they start sleeping shitty, they start eating shitty because their brain is only capable of doing so much. So because their brain is trying to learn how to talk, everything else kind of falls by the wayside. I don't think that goes away as you get older. I think if you are so singularly focused on one thing, you don't have as much brain capacity to be a fucking decent human being, to, that kind of shit. And it's why a lot of entertainers go through fucking divorces and drug habits and all this kind of shit, is because they are so laser focused on one thing, right, wrong, or indifferent, that everything else doesn't develop properly.
But why does it have to be that way in order for you to be extraordinarily successful?
Doesn't have to be, but it happens just because people are only capable of so many things, and the expectations put on some of these people are too much and unfair. For everyone to be a fucking athlete. This is an athlete specific thing. Is like, for you to be so good in a given sport is...
Were you an athlete growing up, by the way? You play sports in high school?
I played tennis and lacrosse, college, but not like to an elite
Where'd you grow up again?
Jersey.
Okay.
So it takes so much to just get to the top of any kind of industry. But then there's an expectation with athletes that you are to be a fucking role model, and not all of them want to be role models. Like Kyrgios, on the court, doesn't want to be a fucking role model.
Well, Tiger Woods wanted to be a role model, though. Or maybe it was just we put so much pressure on him that we would never think that he would cheat on his wife with many women.
40% of the world cheats on their fucking husbands and wives.
Is that a real stat?
I have no idea, but 50% of the people get divorced. I'm assuming some subset of that.
What's up with that?
It's fucking hard.
It's sad,
marriage is
man.
hard.
Especially nowadays with Instagram and shit. Bro, I was on Hinge and Raya today for at least an hour and a half. Swiping. Not even looking to go on a date. Just, it's there.
Why don't you just scroll through Google Photos and just pick photos that you like?
Well, because
it's the same thing. If you don't want to date... But
she's going to give me attention in the check mark back to me or the heart back to me. And I think people like that instant attention gratification.
Here's the deal. Stand-up has broken some of our brains to a certain extent because you're so used to on stage getting this instant affirmation. You say something and they either like it or don't like it instantly. And you then start to seek that out in other parts of your life because you've trained your brain into this thing that you really care about to seek this instant affirmation, and it's just not possible in other places. And that's what leads to these toxic addictions where you're like, what am I even on these apps for if it's not really to date women?
Yeah, I don't know. Were you a psychology major in college?
No.
Perchance?
But I just like self-help shit.
Where'd you go to college?
Indiana.
I almost went there.
Yeah.
But after doing a little bit of digging into the tennis team, the coach at the particular time when I was about to visit said that nobody makes a team unless they run a mile faster than 5 minutes and 34 seconds. And my fastest ever was 5 minutes and 34 seconds freshman year. And I was also like, what kind of coach won't let you play unless you run a mile, 5 minutes and 30 seconds?
I had such a, I had a lot of anger towards coaches.
You look tan, by the way, bro.
I look tan? I was in Montana for 2.5 weeks with just my shirt off the whole time.
Let's go. Do you have a picture?
Of me shirtless?
Yeah.
Sure, I have dick pics too. What do you want to see?
Well, whichever one you want to pop up right now.
I don't. My phone. I mean, I can.
No. Well, we're doing it in post.
Okay.
We're popping up right here. So can you send me that pic?
Of me shirtless?
I mean,
Of course not.
Either
My
way,
body looks
it's
like
either
a melted
his wiener
candle.
or
No,
shirtless.
there
pic.
are other options. I could send you just a picture of me fishing. You know,
In Montana?
Yeah.
Nice. Maybe with your daughter, we'll blur her face out. if you
probably
want.
not. I probably won't send you a picture of my daughter. You know, I have.
Especially what we were saying before. But anyway, go ahead.
I have so much frustration for coaches and even like bosses in business, like when they get pissed off at you that you don't want to do something that doesn't pertain to the actual like source material. So like someone making you run a 5.5 minute mile to be on a tennis team is like, those are two different things. Like to me, like I would be like, okay, can you run 120-yard sprints in under X amount of time? Because tennis is not about being fast, it's about being quick. So it's like, I don't give a shit that you can run a fucking mile. Can you get from 10 feet to 20 feet in 5 seconds? That to me is a more valuable, and I feel like that is such people like just have these ways of doing things that he's just like, oh, this is my way or the highway. But like, give me the statistics. I don't think the fucking Indiana tennis team was a national champion when I was in fucking college. They were good. They weren't a fucking national champion. Doesn't matter. Like, tell me the actual like ROI on this 5 minutes and 34-second minute mile. It can't be high.
Yeah.
There's got to be another like metric. So like anytime it makes these like definitive statements of like, if you can't do X and under Y, it's like you're missing out on a lot of people. Having said that, you were probably, not the right person for the team. You were probably, not good and that kind of stuff. But no, I know you played at fucking UConn, all this shit.
Yeah, dogs. Huskies. By the way, I saw Brittany Griner and Diana Taurasi at the 4th annual Ted Jones World Vegan Hot Dog Eating Contest, which was lit. We didn't know they were going to be there, but they showed up on the Phoenix Mercury team bus.
Yeah.
And they were right outside the hotel. It was ridiculous.
Did they eat a hot dog?
Unfortunately not. But Brittany Griner pretended to be on her cell phone when she got off the bus.
Oh, I love it.
Because we had a photographer, 2 videographers just like videoing me, and as she got off the bus, she was just like on the phone. I was like, bro, who are you talking to?
Can I tell you my favorite fake cell phone story that happened to me in New York City? So I was in Washington Square Park, and I see this actor who I really love, who's like not a well-known actor, but he's like a career character actor. You may know him, you don't know. His name's F. Murray Abraham. Do you know who that is? He's like a bald
Popping him
dude.
up right here.
He's in Finding Forrester. He's in White Lotus. He's in.
Who is he in White Lotus?
He's the old bald guy.
Season 1 or season 2?
2. Old bald dude. Maybe he's in season 1. I don't remember. So he's just like a character actor who I love. He's just like an old kind of curmudgeon-y guy.
And I bet he'd be pretty impressed that you knew his actual name.
100%.
Yeah.
And not only that, like I can't imagine there's 6 million people in New York. Maybe 2,000 would know who this guy is in New York. And I was like, I just want to tell him like how much I fucking love. I love this movie Finding Forrester. He's like the villain in Finding Forrester. And I go up to him and I'm like, Mr. Abraham, like I'm such a huge fan.
Is he reading a book at this time, or
no?
like
He's
passing?
walking through Washington Square Park.
Through the arc.
So he's walking towards me. He sees me, and pulls out his phone, and I swear to God, goes like this. And
backwards.
He's holding his phone backwards, faking like literally like,
God.
hey, wait, no, I can talk, and I'm like, honestly, I laugh so fucking hard. I'm like, I can't even be
How
pissed
many
off.
times a day does this guy get approached, though?
He clearly doesn't want to be talked to because
Yeah.
there's no one's talking. Like no one comes up to this
but
guy.
White Lotus had just came out at this particular time.
No, this
and he
was
saw
like
it
maybe
now?
10 years ago.
Oh, so it was before. Wow.
He's
Way before White Lotus.
he was maybe on one show at that time.
Wow.
I still love him. Like
Yeah.
I honestly respect him more. Like that kind of
blatant
shit.
fake phone call.
Yeah, like I love when
Everyone has done the fake phone call too. You see someone you don't want to interact with on the street a little bit. You got an AirPod in. So
Sure.
I'm on the phone. Or
Yeah.
you just have your phone access. You're texting. You look down. That
people
happens
do
a
it
lot.
to
I've
like
seen
the
it many
people with
times.
anyone who has a clipboard. Like if you see somebody with a clipboard.
Oh yeah. Hey,
in
what's
here-
up? Love your hair.
Right.
Love that shirt.
Right. Has anyone ever like gotten you with some good line on that?
Yeah, but I'll just go nice one, and then I'll give them the pound and keep walking.
Oh, you don't give them
nice
any
one.
money?
I gotta go. Well, one time There was it was Children's International. I was walking around. I was seeing if anyone could beat me in a water chug contest. And this like 18-year-old girl, I was like, "Can you chug this water? You think you can beat me?" She was like, "All right, well, I'll do the contest, but you have to sign up for Children's International." I was like, all right. So we chugged it. Whatever. She got me to sign up for the Children's International. The smallest amount of money was $360 to feed a kid for a full year.
Yeah, $1 a day,
bro. Yeah, almost, I guess. So I
They
fed
take
the
5
girl,
days off.
right? Yeah, I fed this girl for a year, Kim, and then the next year,
She's dead
no, she got fed, I guess, again for a year because my credit card got recharged.
Yeah.
And I was so pissed. And this sounds so fucked up, but I got charged another $360, and I hit up Children's International. I was like, I want my credit card canceled.
Fuck Kim. That's what
But
you said.
yeah, but I mean, I guess hopefully she got fed again for another 360 days.
I thought you said hopefully she got fat again. I
No,
was like,
yeah, well,
Jesus.
that'd be good too, because then
Then
she
she
can
won't
eat
be
even more
hungry.
food.
I
But yeah,
try,
that's
if
pretty
I
much
have
the only
nothing
time.
going on,
You'll talk with him for a little bit.
and I'll go, you want to talk? We're going to talk.
But what, you just dig into what they're actually collecting money for?
Yeah.
That's the thing about organizations. You never know how much money is really
You say
going to her.
organizations,
Yeah.
not organizations.
How did I say it?
How do you say the word FINANCE?
Dude, I do not say finance. I say finance. People who work in finance say finance like that.
Okay.
Regular people say
You have-
finance.
you have
I
finance
said
face.
organization. I don't have finance face.
You have
dude.
finance face.
Finance.
If you weren't wearing your own merch, it would
Yeah.
be you wearing a fucking Patagonia vest with fucking Deloitte on it.
Dude, my dad went to Wharton, so I do have a little bit of smartness in me.
Yeah. What
Yes.
smartness? I have smartness.
If I wasn't wearing my own merch
Yeah.
and sweats.
You
You
have
kind
your
of
own.
dress like me, dude, right now.
Well, once I went
Minus
to
the wedding ring.
athleisure, in the pandemic, I don't think I can ever go back.
Oh, yeah, bro. Jeans are the most... I don't know how we were wearing jeans so much more
Yeah,
before
it's a
2020.
lot.
Dude, sitting down in jeans...
Well, what are you
some
wearing
of the
on
most
stage
uncomfortable
right
thing
now
ever.
in this weather? Yes.
I really try not to wear shorts just because the stigma behind it. But if it's a later show...
Comedy stigma, not
whatever.
like general stigma.
Yeah, dude, yes. Excuse me.
People
So
who wear
much
shorts
comedy
are people. Nobody knows that. Yeah. Yeah.
You mean the comedians?
No, don't clip this.
Yeah,
And
I think I have to edit that part out.
don't fucking clip this, you piece of shit. Those of you want to know why we're laughing, Ted said something wild.
Oh yeah, it was me, dude. It was me. But I don't know. I wear shorts a little bit. Like tonight, I don't have any spots. I'm gonna walk around a little bit. I'll wear shorts and a t-shirt.
Walk around and like film stuff, or
No,
just
I'm gonna walk around McDougal, say what up, kiss some babies and stuff. On like nights I don't have shows. Sometimes I just don't know what to do, bro. Like I'll work hard on all this Ted Jones World stuff, and then sometimes at nights I'm like, all right, what do I do? Because you have a full family set. You have activities to do at night. You have things to look forward to. Maybe you want to do something with your daughter, something with your wife. But
Yeah.
like being a single guy in New York City, sometimes I just feel pressure to go out, drink with the boys, which I don't want to do. I haven't drinking in 3 months. Kind of unintentionally go out, potentially find a nice female. Or on the other hand, I'm like, how can I further move towards the goal of getting better every day, Ari?
like you don't mean comedically? You mean
I think both.
I mean, what are you like when you have a night where you don't have a show?
Yeah, like
and you are just like, I can't be home by myself. Is that like a real cognitive thought?
No, but I think it would get to the point where I will stay at home and not do anything, as opposed to going outside and maybe I'll run into somebody I haven't seen in years, and they're like, "Oh, come do this comedy show," or "Oh, there's this party this time," and I meet a person who can move my career in this direction. I think it's just like being outside and needing to
How old are you?
meet people. 31 and a half. So I'm getting older.
It's weird. Like in my 20s, I was exactly like that. And when I got into my 30s, I learned that I don't, and I struggle with this too. I was just talking about this on my podcast yesterday with Casey, where like, Never Not Tired. It's a parenting podcast. Where, I have this family that I love. I love my daughter. I love my wife. I love spending time with them. But like, sometimes it's not a lie. I'm not being hyperbolic when I say that like my career has taken a hit because I've had a family to a certain extent. I can't be out every night. I can't go to every single show and that kind of stuff. Like I have to spend time with my family. Have to, also want to. I know like have sounds shitty, but like regardless of that, when I turned 30, and I'm doing bits about this right now, like I learned that I was like, I don't have to do shit that I don't want to do anymore. Like when I would get invited to something in my 20s, like I just assumed I had to go. Like someone invites you to a bar on a Friday night, you're like, well, I have nothing to do, so that means I have to go.
Even like a wedding that you might not want to go to?
Trying to get out of a wedding in your 20s is like getting out of military service. You have to have like, I have flat feet, you know,
excuse.
Right. It's like you have to like go.
I just said no to a wedding because I have a wedding like a few days after, and I was like, oh, I have a prior engagement.
Right. And I got to 30 and I was just like, you assume that you have to go if you have nothing else to do. And when I started to learn through like some self-help shit and my mental illness, like learning that like I have to have some nights where I do nothing, because if I just keep going and going and going, I will crash, and I do crash. So like I have to have some nights. So like a night like tonight, like I don't have shows tonight, and I'm like I want to go out because I have that same desire. Like, well, I should probably go hang at a show, and I'll probably see somebody, and then I'll get on a show. And when you hang out, you always get more shows. Comedy is the only fucking industry that is proximity based, and it's great and shitty. But I know that like in this grand scheme of my life, this night in comedy versus me not having a night where I go crazy because I'm pushing and pushing and pushing is more valuable to my career than going out tonight. I'm not trying to get you to stay home and fuck my wife or anything like that. I want to be very clear. But like, I get it, but you also need some time for yourself. And I feel like you probably struggle with that.
Yeah. Cause I'm always like, oh, well, I could be doing that extra thing. Like anytime I build a schedule for myself on a particular day, I have anxiety about I might not be able to complete everything on this particular list. And like 80% of the time I do, but there's that 20% of the time where, oh, I wasn't able to finish the podcast editing this particular time. Oh, I wasn't able to do a set in the mirror by this particular time.
A set in the mirror?
Yeah. I do that like almost every day.
You do a set in the mirror?
Yeah. Like I'll do
this
like,
mirror?
Yeah. Or in the mirror in my bathroom or in my bedroom. Either way. Like 15, 20 minutes.
You got to do a full-length mirror. You're doing non-full-length mirror sets?
Well, sometimes I'll go shirtless, you know, in the top half, and I'm like, yo, what's good, bro? What's good?
Do you really find value in doing it in front of the mirror versus doing it? Why?
Yes, because I'm able to try things that I otherwise potentially wouldn't try when I feel like I need to do well at a certain point in time. And that doesn't even go for open mics.
But how do you, what is trying... I get it if you did it for like a friend, but like you're not like, how do you know that you're getting a read on something if you're doing it to yourself?
I think I have a pretty good read on what I deem a good bit and how I construct things comedically. And usually, like anytime I interact with people, I usually make them give me some feedback in terms of if they're laughing at something that I'm saying. I'm not saying that I'm trying bits on people, but I think I have a good read on what's funny.
Right. So that, but you don't think it's strong enough without the mirror set?
No, I do. Like, dude, today I did it in this kitchen, walking around right here, facing out this way.
No.
It doesn't need to 100%
so you're
be in
not
the mirror.
right. You're really just writing out loud, right? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, but I still I'll have go-to bits that I'll sprinkle into my 15 minutes. Like, I'll do 15 to 20 minutes for the most part.
You're talking in your house?
Yes. So let's say I do 15 minutes, like today. 15 minutes, probably 7 minutes was just usual stuff that I will do in a set that I know I can hammer down. I know that's funny. I've gotten laughs hundreds of times doing it, and then I'll sprinkle in some of that 8 minutes of new stuff, and then I'll try it out at a show, 2 minutes here, 2 minutes there, whatever. And then when I do stuff like the Ted Jones Comedy Show, I'm like, oh, I need to crush. So out of this 15 minutes, I'll do 10 minutes of my same material, and then I'll try 5 minutes of new stuff. Like Chris Rock talks about doing sets in the mirror and stuff like that, and he'll see like his mannerisms, how he can... is that the right word?
Yeah.
Mannerisms? I said mannerisms.
No, I would have said mannerisms on that one.
But
that was not a finance situation.
But mannerisms and, I think that there is value from other people giving you feedback, but I think that there's...
I do agree.
Here and there.
I wouldn't say that I think open mics are properly rated. I think people who go to them even think they suck. So I don't think that they're like overrated.
Right.
I do think there's value in preparation and doing things. I do talk out loud when I'm writing bits, but I don't think for me I could do that. And I'm generally asking out of wonder, not out of judgment, because like I hate the sound of my own voice, and I hate like the act of free writing. So like I get it. Like I do kind of understand it. I mean, your act is very big. Like you're like a very like what's the phrase? Like you're just like almost like theatrical, you know? Not in a bad way, but you're just like your act is like big, so I can't imagine you doing it in here. And I wish that you had a window that like looked out, so that like people could be like, "Fucking Ted's talking to the refrigerator again," you know. But it's interesting. I don't know. I wonder what the. I don't know if you get complete honesty amongst comedians, but I would wonder what the hit rate is of people who do something like that and people who don't.
Well, I think I'll write something down. I'm walking on the street, or I'll go. And I'm running like 5K every day for the most part, and I'll get a thought in my head, and it'll usually stay in my head. I'll write it back down on a notepad or on my phone, and then I will continue to. Do you want to see all the sets that I've done this year? Hold on, I'll get my
in front of the mirror.
Both.
Here's where I think you're psychotic. Okay?
Yeah.
And again, there's no judgment
in a
here.
good way.
I totally get grading your set.
Yeah.
At a comedy club.
Yeah.
Totally understand that.
Yeah, I grade my sets in the, in
you
the
got
kitchen
you got
too.
the Moxie, you got a B-. You did 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. It was a tough show. Okay, I get it. You got Greenwich Village.
Yeah.
You got a B+. Okay. New York Comedy Club B/B+. I got no problems with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's where I'm taking umbrage.
Yes.
April 13th.
Yeah.
Okay. You did 15 minutes in front of the mirror.
Yeah.
You gave yourself a D-.
Yeah, bro. Shit.
Okay. That you can't. That it's a mirror.
But dude, sometimes I'll feel it.
Okay.
I'll know what he's thinking on the other side.
I understand that, but this is part of the writing process. You are hurting yourself by passing judgment on yourself in the mirror. This is how you write.
I think that's how I get better, though. Passing some sort of judgment
I
in myself.
gave myself a
D-.
D-.
But I don't act like that. I
You
say
don't?
D-. All right, let's get better next time, bro.
So why even do it if you're not?
This is part of the journey, I think.
Okay.
But that's also in my own head, okay? Like, I'm not saying that you guys need to do this or judge an hour of yourself and whatever passion you're trying to pursue and grade yourself, but I don't know. I think it's helped me a little bit. And in my
The logging is is super helpful.
Yes.
But the mirror grades and all the mirror grades. But the other thing I did a quick pivot table in my head.
Yeah.
Okay, the mirrors are like sub C's. All the mirrors are sub C's.
No, today in the mirror, dude. Though I got an A- today, dude. I killed, dude.
You're crazy.
I killed. A-, and then the other day in the mirror I got a C-/C. But I'll never give myself an A though in the mirror.
I've never given myself an A on stage.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
No.
You giving yourself an A-?
I've never
though?
used the phrase I killed. Never.
You giving yourself some A- though?
I know that I do really well.
Yeah, you're a funny guy.
But I would never. My brain. That's how I get better, is by not being happy.
There's always room for improvement. Never being satisfied.
Yeah.
Always have the urge.
Happy is the wrong phrase. Satisfied is right.
Yeah.
I'm also not happy, but that's a different issue.
Yeah, bro. What are you talking about? You were talking about mental health a little bit earlier.
I'm bipolar. So it's just, sometimes you have some fucked up days and weeks, and it can be tough, especially in the business that we're in.
Do you have manic? Are you cool talking about it for a moment?
Yeah.
Do you have manic episodes?
I have what they call hypomania.
So what does that look like?
It's like hours of manic, or sometimes like a day.
And how does it come on?
You kind of feel yourself, they call it like ramping, where you like feel yourself like, oh, I'm not. You start to like unwind. You're like, okay, I didn't handle that situation how I normally would. and this, it doesn't feel right, and you start to kind of feel off. And then there's usually like some sort of inciting incident where you're like, well, that is definitely not how I should have handled that situation. But those last like hours for me, which is good.
Because it would happen usually for
days, weeks, months, years, like some
periods of time.
Yeah, I mean, like
I know there are a few comics that think that have bipolar disorder.
Yeah, I mean, mine didn't come on until the pandemic. It was I had like a massive fucking meltdown in the middle of the pandemic, like a lot of people did.
Yeah.
And I got medicated, and I feel way better than I did.
Was that like this when you were on the plane and you had, I think you were freaking the fuck out, and then one of your friends called you and was like, oh, you should write for my show. And then like all of a sudden you were like, oh, never mind. Life is good.
No, this was after that. This was usually, more often than not, if you ask like anyone who's got some severe mental problems, the inciting incident or something where you're like, oh, I have an issue, is not anything that you should have had an issue about. You know, it's not like, oh, I can't make rent or somebody died. It's like, for me, I got into a like massive fight with a Verizon customer service rep and like wanted to kill myself over it. Like huge blow up fucking fight.
What was it? They like double charged you for July?
No, they gave me a D- for July.
Dude, yeah, I'd be fucking pissed too.
I was getting a new phone, and I got sent a phone, and it was like broken. Like the phone was like broken.
What do you mean? The glass was shattered?
No, like it just wasn't, like I like set it up and it just wasn't operating normally. Like it would like apps would crash, and it was like right out of the fucking box. And I'm, you know, you call Verizon and like
it takes a year for you to connect.
You're connecting to 1,000 different people, and like, you know, you need codes.
No one's really held responsible.
And like so this was like the height of the pandemic. This was like May, June of 2021. Just fucking terrible.
2020?
2020.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, we'll send you a phone. And I was like, okay. And they're like, we're going to send you a refurbished phone. And I'm like, no, you're not. You're sending me a new fucking phone. I just bought a new phone. You're not sending me a refurbished phone.
You cursed on the recorded line?
Dude, not only did I curse, like I treated this person so bad.
What was
like,
her name?
I have no idea. I have no clue. And if you happen to be a subscriber of Ted Jones, I haven't apologized yet. But I do apologize. I was fucked up. Like I've always had like anger problems, but I kind of like was able to keep them at bay. And this was a one where I was like, I physically, let me continue and then I'll go into the aftermath. They are demanding that I take a refurbished phone. I am like, give me your fucking manager. That person's like, take a refurbished phone. I'm like, give me the fucking president of Verizon. I don't give a shit. I'm not taking a refurbished phone out of pure principle. The phone is brand new. I finally get them to agree to give me a new phone.
Sorry, the phone that you originally had was brand new.
Yeah, I brought a brand new fucking phone. These things are like $1,000. They're not like fucking cheap. My grandfather bought a fucking house for $800 in Brooklyn in like 1930. Okay,
insane.
So I get the guy to agree to give me a new phone, and he's like, "You got to come into the Verizon store to pick it up." I'm like, "There is a fucking deadly virus." We can have an argument about whether that's true later on. There's a fucking goddamn virus. Nobody is going anywhere. I'm not fucking going into a store. Send me the fucking phone, and I'm losing my mind. And I eventually like hang up.
Your wife is in the apartment at this time?
My wife is in the living room with our 6-month-old child. And I am like crying and screaming, and I cannot physically control my emotions. And my wife's like, you need to calm down. And I was like, I started yelling at her, and I'm like, it's this weird thing when I think the moment when I really understood that I had something wrong was like, you imagine you're a carpenter and you're nailing in nails, and you nail in 5-10 nails. You got 10 more nails left. You reach your hand into your tool belt to get the hammer, and the hammer is just missing. And they're like, hammer the nails. And you're like, I don't have a hammer. And my wife's like, you need to calm down. I'm like, I can't. It's like being like, Ted, speak Korean right now. It's like, you can't.
Konnichiwa.
Nope.
Is that Japanese?
It's definitely not Korean. That's for sure. And I physically couldn't regulate my emotions. And my wife was like, okay, I'm going to take Sophie, And I heard that as, I'm taking our child. Like, I am taking our child. And I flipped out. Not on her. I was like, I'm going to kill myself. Like, I was like, I didn't understand. She meant like, I'm going to take Sophie like
for a walk.
So that, but like, I immediately panicked and freaked out. And I called my therapist and I was like, hey, like, this is what's going on. And he's like, I think you might be like bipolar. Like, he had never said that before. He was just like, cause like you don't really show like mania, you show like what's called hypomania, but like a lot of people have like hypomania and it's not necessarily like indicative of some sort of chemical imbalance, which is what being bipolar is. And then I got on meds for a while. I got on, actually I'm fast forwarding a year. They didn't think I was bipolar then. They thought I had anxiety and depression. They put me on anxiety and depression for a year. I'm fine. The meds are doing great. I'm leveling off. And then like after a year, the meds completely stop working. The meds are doing nothing. And I'm like in a full tailspin. Like literally, I remember I was walking down 7th Avenue. 7th Avenue goes downtown? 7th Avenue. And I was like walking in the middle of the street, just like hoping I got fucking hit by a car.
During the pandemic though?
Yeah. There weren't that many cars on the road. I was pretty safe. And I was just like, something's fucked. And I called my therapist again and was like, he's like, I think you might be bipolar. And I got on the bipolar, I got on lithium, and like instantly it was like a different thing. And to that extent, like I've been pretty good. I haven't had like a deep episode like that, but like this weekend I had like a full panic attack that just like came on, and I have my like tools and tips and tricks and stuff like that, and I try to like mitigate it for my family and daughter and that kind of stuff, but it's fucking tough. I don't know how we started talking about this.
Well, you said you were going to talk about the aftermath.
Understanding your like mental limitations and doing social inventory is important. That's why I was talking about like there are nights where I need to like not go out for my own mental health, and it's like I think a lot of people don't take inventory on who they are, what they care about, the things that like push their buttons and shit like that. And comedians are even fucking worse because we spend every day, every hour opening up a fucking Pandora's box and hypo-analyzing every single situation you've ever been in. Shit with your fucking family, your friends, your grandparents, ex-girlfriends for all of eternity. Because our job, either for our own self or to make other people laugh, is to find ways to make that funny. But the problem is you open that kind of shit and fucked up shit's going to come out. And you need to find a way to like address that. And I was just ignoring it. Like I was mining through all of my experiences in life, good, bad, horrible, scary, emotional. And I would pull out these things that are funny and find ways to make them funny. But then I was just leaving all the shit on the floor. And eventually, like, you leave enough garbage on your fucking floor, you're not going to be able to walk anymore.
Did you have any traumatic events in high school or college or maybe in your 20s?
I think we talked about this on the last podcast, but I was like, I was super bullied in middle school.
No, I don't think we did.
Are you sure?
Super bullied?
Super bullied.
No, you didn't tell me that.
I was very I was like, suicidal ideations
Why,
in middle school.
You seem like a cool kid. Were you not?
Fucking kids are mean. Bald, fat, that kind of stuff.
What?
My body is not good. I'm not giving you a naked picture.
Well, you look good. Nate, bro, he just wanted a top half.
I've learned,
You ever have a period of time, though, where you were working out to see if that would potentially help your mood swings?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I work out every day. I just don't have, like, a great body. I have a fine body. I have like, if you looked up dad bod in the dictionary, it would be a picture of my body with no head on it.
But that doesn't make you fat.
I know I'm not fat.
Well, you said that if I called you fat,
the girl Kim that you gave the money to, she's fat. Okay.
Well, thanks to me.
Yes. What a hero. What was it? What were we talking about?
Working out. Bullied.
Oh, bullied. I was bullied a lot as a kid, and for a variety of reasons. I had this group of friends who I thought was like my fucking best friends in the world. They played this like massive prank on me that turned out to not be a prank, and it was like fucked up. And they filmed it, and then they showed it to people, and it was like a whole fucking thing.
You're gonna tell us a prank, or
they duct taped me to a fucking chair, filmed it, and were gonna like put me out in the freezing cold and pour a bucket of water on me, and it like didn't get to the last part. Yeah, and they like fucking filmed it, and like
ALS challenge.
I heard, it was. It raised a lot. That video raised a lot of money. Actually, my duct tape video, it raised like $6 million, but not for ALS. No, what are you talking about? I'm not that good of an actor. But they like filmed it and showed it to people years. I was like graduated from college and they still fucking were showing it to people. And it like fucked me up, and there were a bunch of reasons why I kind of came out of it, but like part of it was like I took a lot of shit for granted, and I was not like really taking inventory of my life. I had these people that I thought were my friends, but I didn't read the fucking tea leaves that they were not really my friends.
These were your friends in middle school or high school, though?
Yeah. Not in high school. After this event, I never talked to them again.
How did they convince you to get into this position?
We used to make these like videos. Like,
was this like right around the time YouTube was kind of forming, or MySpace?
No. This was like
what platform did they put it on?
No one. It was for us. It was, you get one rich fucking friend who gets a camcorder and you make dumb videos, and no one sees them except for you.
Yeah.
So we would make we would make wrestling videos. We had like a talk show thing. So we were just like, oh, let's just make a video, and you'll be this guy, this character, and the character I should have realized was like, oh, he's crazy and needs to
straight jacket. And
that kind of shit. And then like very quickly into being duct taped by like 15 guys, you realize it's not a fucking sketch anymore. So I started at that moment, I started to realize like what was more important in my life.
This is like 8th grade, 7th grade?
This was 8th grade.
So it was like right after your bar mitzvah.
Right after my bar mitzvah. Theme was Vegas. It was really fucking hard.
That's fun.
Super hard.
Why is it? Oh, you mean like hard, like gangsta? Hard.
No, I mean like it was hard after that, after the incident. My bar mitzvah was October. This thing happened January 5th, 1999.
Wait, so it happened like 2 months after your bar mitzvah?
January, yeah. 3 months.
3 months, yeah.
3 months. And I was bullied like all through 9th, 10th, 11th grade. Okay. So I was in therapy like as a kid, but like the moment in which I started to understand this concept of like taking inventory on yourself was my mom got cancer. She's fine before we get there, but she got cancer. She had ovarian cancer. Her mom died of ovarian cancer. Her mom's sister died of ovarian cancer. Like everyone in my mom's family dies of ovarian cancer. And my mom is in the hospital getting chemotherapy. And I remember being in the hospital, and I remember sitting in the waiting room, and like I remember being pissed off about like not being invited to like something or some party or like
middle school party.
I was in high school at this point. It was junior year of high school. So it was like 2 years later, still bullied, still didn't really have a lot of friends. And I was like sitting in this waiting room, and I'm like,
this like in the hospital?
In the hospital while my mom's getting chemo, and I'm just like pissed off that I didn't get invited to fucking Steve's party, and woe is me, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, your mom is literally dying. Is this the thing that you need to value right now? Is this the important thing?
So taking inventory, meaning the things that actually matter in your life?
Yeah. And that was like my first like, oh, okay, this is a tool that I need to implore. And like from that moment on, I was like a different person. Like it was immediate. Where I was like, okay, this is not important. She is important. I need to care about her. I don't need to worry about this. This is not life or death. That is literally life or death. And I started to use this fucking tool. Over time, like any tool, a tool becomes dull. Okay, you start to lose your grasp on how to use it, on its effectiveness and that kind of thing. And I've gone through these different cycles of like, okay, I learn this tool, it becomes dull. I learn a new tool, it becomes dull. I learn a new tool, it becomes dull. All the tools are still there in my tool belt, but they get sharpened or shit like that.
Do you think having a child helped you get sharpen in that certain situation?
Yeah, but like it comes with the same thing. There are moments where I'm at fucking swim class and my daughter's learning to swim and it's beautiful. She's happy. She's fucking splashing and I'm like, I can't get booked on TEDJONESWORLD, you know, like shit. Obviously I've been booked on your show. I'm using it as an example.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, what am I fucking thinking about? Like, that's so stupid. But like everyone has those moments.
Bro, yeah, it's really crazy.
Comedy or not comedy.
Yeah.
There's a, if
Just
you, are you into
gratitude.
self-help shit or no?
Bro.
Okay. I see you got some, but like, I don't know. I was
Yes.
more like, you know, for them. There's a great speech. It's a commencement speech by David Foster Wallace, who's a really great writer, who's like a little self-indulgent. So if you don't like that kind of stuff, don't read a lot of his books.
Was he a military person?
No. He was a teacher at Kenyon College in like
Ohio.
yeah. So he gives this
Commencement
speech at Kenyon College. It's called "This Is Water," and it's all about this concept of like taking inventory, understanding what's really important, and being present and that kind of stuff. But like, everyone struggles with this kind of thing. Everyone is not living in the moment and thinking about other shit, and it's fucking so hard to do it. But like, it is the best superpower that you can have.
To have gratitude and live in the moment.
I was in did this bother you?
To touch me?
Yeah.
No, bro, it's good as long as you send
Can
a
I jerk-
shirtless
can I
pic.
jerk you off?
Yeah, dude,
Okay.
that's what I was getting through next.
Okay. So I was in Starbucks. Yeah, you're not supposed to reuse
Lux.
this.
What do you mean, bro?
You know,
I'm
like,
saving the environment.
No,
this is the only
you're
time
actually
I'm
not.
using
You're
it.
hurting yourself because there's those plastic are only meant for like single use. They start to degrade over
But I got it
time.
this morning.
How many times have you filled it up today?
I don't know. Twice.
Okay.
7:55 a.m. Mobile in-store.
I'm at Starbucks.
SBA.
This is years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm having a conversation with a coworker. I was working a day job at a time. I'm having a
Oh, you
conversation.
were working at Starbucks?
No. I
Oh.
was working at I was working at a retail company, and we went to Starbucks for just to get a cup
A
of coffee.
meeting. That's cute.
And I'm talking with this girl, and we're just shooting the shit, and we get into a conversation that was like, if you could have a superpower, what would you have? So I'm going to ask you, like, if you had a superpower, what would you have? He thinks. What would you have?
Teleporting?
Teleporting? That's a good
haven't
answer.
thought- yeah, I haven't thought about it.
Never? You never thought about it?
Not
good
to the
answer.
extent where I would have an answer, but
Okay.
yeah, teleporting.
Great answer. I
Sure.
suggest everyone have that answer
Ponder
prepped in
that.
case it comes up at any icebreakers at your next company
It's a
event.
good icebreaker.
So-
or a date, maybe.
Her answer was flying. My answer was I wish that I could control people's thoughts. That was my answer, which is like kind of dark. Okay.
Yeah.
But then this fucking guy behind me goes, "Can I give you an alternative answer?"
Unrelated to your business meeting at this particular time.
I wasn't having a meeting. We were just getting a cup of coffee.
No, I know, but this guy was just standing behind you.
I don't know who this person is. Standing behind me, taps me on the shoulder, like, "Can I give you a different answer?" And he was British or Australian, can't really remember. I can tell the difference, but I don't remember. And he said, "Controlling other people's thoughts is valuable. Something more valuable would be the ability to control your thoughts."
Oh my gosh.
And it broke my brain for like a week. Just like the ability that if you feel anxious or you feel scared or tired or anything, that you can be like, gone. And I was like, that's the best superpower. Because that's the biggest thing that I struggle with is like, I just ruminate and I ruminate and I ruminate.
But
and
controlling your thoughts, do you think he kind of meant not letting other people's opinion of you or what you
anything.
think about
whatever
other
you're
people
feeling,
affect you?
whatever negative thought that you're
Yes.
feeling, anger, anxiety, frustrate, any of it, that you can go, Ted, stop feeling like that immediately and not feel it anymore. And I was like, that's the most powerful fucking superpower ever. I would be king of the universe. If that's the only thing holding me back, truthfully. I know that I have the skills in comedy. I have the skills in writing. I'm an okay tennis player. I would have been a great tennis player if I could say, don't give a shit that I just hit 3 balls into the net. That's what makes Djokovic, is that he's a fucking robot in more ways than one. He can completely just go, it's gone. It's gone. Get rid of it. Do the next thing. And I can't do that. And everything that I do is trying to get closer and closer to that thing. Did I break your brain a little bit?
No. I think that that's valid. And I think sometimes in like working out, in lifting, in running, I'll find myself dealing with that. Where I'm like, oh, maybe I can do one less set. Maybe I could run a little bit less time. But I'm like, no, dude, I told myself before this is what I was going to do. Yeah. This is how it is.
You beat yourself up.
Yeah.
And some of that, like we said earlier, like I run on not feeling content. Like that is every person, let's use comedians as the example. Every person has cars run on different types of gas, okay? A Chevy Cavalier, I don't know if they make Chevy Cavaliers, that runs on regular unleaded. Okay?
I still use regular for like all the cars. So YOLO sauce.
Right, but like, some cars you're supposed to use diesel. Some cars you're supposed to use premium. Right.
Yeah.
Every person in life has their own type of gasoline. Okay? So you may do the things that drive you aren't necessarily the things that drive me. Like to do comedy, to friendships, relationships, that kind of shit. And the problem is with a business like ours is that we are sponges, and we listen to podcasts. We meet comedians who are around longer than we are. We say, hey, what do you do when you're in this situation? What do you do when you're in a situation? What's your process? How do you write? How many sets should I do in a week? How many open mic? Blah blah blah. And then you just go, I'm going to do that. And then you over time learn that like I'm not that. I can't do that. Like Suba Agarwal, she's a comedian.
She's in LA right now, right?
She
I think
comes
I was on
back
a show
and
with
forth
her in LA.
New York and LA.
Yeah.
So we like started together in New York, like in the early aughts, and like she used to run around and do 15 sets a night, like crazy amounts, like 10, 15 sets a night, every night. And I was just like, I have to do that. She's winning comedy. I have to do that. And then I tried to do that. And I was like, I can't do that. Like my brain doesn't operate. Like there's a tipping point for me. It's like, this is not helpful for me. This is now hurtful. And understanding what type of gasoline that you run on is pretty important outside of comedy in life. Understanding like what gets you to the point in which you are only benefiting yourself and you are not hurting yourself.
Like you versus you.
Right. Be in a position where I look at this with like Serena. Like there was a period of 5 years.
Serena Williams, tennis player.
You put others, Serena.
I'm doing
Serena Palmer is a comedian I met in Montana. She's actually very funny. She's not going to listen to this.
Serena!
There was a point, it was a 5-year period, maybe between like 2012 and 2017, where the only person that could beat Serena was Serena. There was not I don't know if that 5 years is the exact period, but like she is the only person that can beat her is when she starts to fucking crumble. There's not a single person that can beat her. And like you want to be in a position where you are not the reason for your own fucking downfall. That you are able to deliver, and if it shakes out, it shakes out, depending on their opponent. I just like can't. I try to not be in a position where I'm my own competition in a negative way. Your thoughts?
I think that there are some times when you talk about being a sponge in this comedic game. I think that like you kind of take a little bit from what everybody says, just being around New York City comedians. You're around like 10 a night, easy, and you take like a little bit from what each of them are saying. But it does seem like there is kind of a play where you want to do, I don't know, maybe the average comedian wants to do a set every single night, get up every single night. But then I think that there are other aspects, especially now in comedy, where we're seeing comedians thrive on TikTok. Maybe they're doing great on YouTube. And there's so many different ways to be successful nowadays. You have a talk show, or Michael Costa hosts some tennis channel show. So I think that there's so many different ways that like it's tougher for people to give other people advice in being a comedian. Like an actor, it's for the most part pretty straightforward, and in other industries it's, I don't want to say straightforward, but like a more linear path if you kind of just ask the person who's super far ahead of you in life.
Right.
Or in that career path.
When people ask me for advice, what I always say is like, be a sponge, ask a lot of questions, test out their answers, but like, just because Sean Donnelly says something that works for him, that doesn't mean it's going to work for me.
Do you have any thoughts on listening to people who are older than you or taking advice from people who are maybe younger than you?
I take advice from anywhere. And like, I took advice from a fucking guy in line at Starbucks. Like, I am not.
Well, I think that's how you got to do it. And some people will be like, or you hear self-help books or self-motivation. Don't ever take advice from somebody who's not in a position where you want to be. Well, I think that that's true.
No.
Oh, well, but I do think that that's true on the whole. But there are some little things that maybe somebody will say that will be like, oh, that's a gem there. But for the most part, you got to kind of listen to what's going on in your gut and in your mind.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going up to fucking crazy homeless people on the street and being like, "What's the key to your success?"
Fentanyl?
But like, I try to talk to everybody, because like, even if they don't say something, I learn something from the conversation. Like, I'm generally a believer that like, whatever you're doing is like what you're supposed to be doing. Like,
Yes.
if you're talking to a person, if you decide to stay home tonight, again, I'm not advising you stay home tonight and fuck my wife. Just want to be very clear. She doesn't need to
I
be
might do
fucked.
one of those things.
Okay.
Stay home, maybe.
Oh no, I mean, listen. But like, if you decide to do that, that is what you're supposed to do tonight, and that is like, you don't have to overthink it. Again, I struggle with this. I say these things, but it's fucking hard. And understanding that, like, it's one day, again, not related to comedy, like, you make a mistake, you fuck up one day, you have a shitty day, it's one day, it's gone. Next day. Again, I'm in a moment of clarity today. Today is good. Yesterday was
On
bad.
the pod today. What happened yesterday that was bad?
I was just very anxious. I was like, had a mini manic moment, and I had to, like, I mentioned earlier that, like, without being hyperbolic, like, having a family and a child, like, makes my job harder. It does. Like, I can't be out all the time. And my wife is unbelievable and takes on so much in our family, and, you know, takes after our child like 5 nights a week. And she was like, I want a weekend, like, alone with my friends. And her friends, they got a hotel in the city, and she was like doing her thing, and I was just with my daughter, just by ourselves for the whole weekend. And Saturday I get asked to do like 5 fucking shows. And like, you know, like, anytime that you, and this is part of the problem, is like, anytime you decide to like take a night off, that's when you get asked to like headline Madison Square Garden, you know, something like ridiculous.
Yeah, literally.
And like, I was like, okay, I'm going to be present with my kid. I'm going to focus on her. And then
Did you think about like bringing her to the shows? Like, what was your thought process in that? Getting something that was very tempting.
I tried to find a babysitter.
Side.
So that was the first one. And then I was like really struggling. And then this woman was like, I'll do it for $50 an hour. I was like, this is not
so
worth
she going
it.
to teach her calculus? Jesus.
I don't even think that's $50 an hour.
It's algebra 2.
How much do you think babysitters cost an hour? Speculate.
Cash, Venmo, like not W2.
Yeah. No, I'm not. What am
I don't know, dude. I'd say, how old's your daughter? 3?
4.
4? 35, 30
no.
an hour?
No, 20 an hour, which is a lot.
Okay.
And
maybe it depends how old she is, maybe. And if she's going to cook dinner, maybe that's like an added
well, it's
$5.
it's a reverse thing. The younger they are, the more expensive it is. The older
no,
they are.
I meant the babysitter. You meant the kid?
I mean the kid. Oh, you mean how old the kid, the babysitter?
Yeah. If it's like a college student.
So first I was like, hey, can I get a baby? I try to find a babysitter, and one woman was like, I'll do it. I don't want to do it, but I'll do it for $50 an hour. I'm like,
Yeah.
the shows are not that worth it.
Uh-huh.
And then I call my parents. I'm like, hey, can you like just come over and like put her to bed, and I'll be back in like 2 hours. And I would have only done like 3 of the 5 shows. And they were like, oh, we got fucking theater tickets.
Billy Joel.
And then one of the shows was like where the Starbucks is on your block. And I was like, what if I just like put her to bed, and then I just like mosey downstairs. And I tell the host, I'm like, hey, just tell me when I'm gonna go up. I'll walk down. I'll pop back up. And then I was like, I can't fucking do that. That would be such a bad fucking dad. And then I was just like, okay, I'm not doing the shows. I said no to all of them. And I had a full breakdown. I had a full panic attack. Because I say yes to every fucking show. To the detriment of every relationship I've had in my fucking life. And this is like the first time in fucking 13 years outside of COVID that I had to really say no to a show. And I spiraled. It really fucked me up. And because there are days where, like, listen, I'm a pretty self-aware guy. I try to practice self-help and all this kind of shit, but there are days where it's easier and there are days when it's harder. And I was just having a shitty day.
Do you find yourself weekly learning things from your daughter that you otherwise would have never thought that you would have learned, or maybe on a daily basis?
Hourly. She's all lizard brain.
What do you mean by that?
She has no ego. Okay, so like you have your lizard brain and then you have your ego. So you do a show. Ignore the mirror sets. Okay, you do a show. You get a D- at Greenwich Village Comedy Club. Okay. There's the part of you that's like, what are people going to think of me? Are they going to tune into Ted Jones podcast? Are they going to think less of me? Am I going to get booked less? That's all ego. Okay. Then there's the lizard brain where it's like, I need to do a better job. I didn't do this and X and Y. That's all children. Children at that age are all lizard brain. It's survival. It's I'm hungry. I'm tired. It's not like, oh, I wonder if I'm going to like if I'm making my dad happy. Like, it's none of that.
And I think that kind of comes back when you're in your later years too, when you hit like
you find Israel,
90s.
And then you only care about like lizard brain shit. Listen, if you turn 60 as a Jewish man, you've never cared about anything more than Israel. Okay, you start planting trees. It's all you fucking care about. Trust me, I got a father. It's all he fucking cares about now. But she's all lizard brain. And like just seeing that is like in some ways like very inspiring, because you're like, she doesn't care about like any existential shit. She doesn't understand what that is. It's not. It's like saying Ted speak Korean like to her. She doesn't. It's not even in her brain. And learning to kind of operate on that level sometimes I think would be more beneficial for me. To just take things at face value and not be like, how is Ted looking at me right now? Yeah. What does Ted think what I'm saying is important? Is he interested? Am I a boring guest? Am I funny? Am I not funny? You know, all that shit. She has none of that. And I think if we operated like that a little more, it'd be great.
Why is it called that? Why is that the phrase? Lizard brain?
I think it's like a conspiracy theory shit. I think it's like that all humans are like alien shit. I think. I'd have to look it up, but I think it's like a conspiracy theory thing.
What's been the deal, speaking of aliens, with all this new learning with all the I don't even know, there's been so many UFO sightings recently. Are we going to finally see aliens in the flesh? What do you think about that?
I love how I'm a fucking... You're like, what's the deal with it?
Well, dude,
sure,
I mean, you're getting pretty deep. It seems like you know a little bit about everything, though.
I have a part-time degree in astrophysics. I think it would be
part-time
naive
to think that we're the only ones here.
100%.
Yes, dude, I agree. I also think that there are aliens just walking among us, too.
In human form, you're saying?
Yeah. Like people that we walk by, I just can't imagine that there are that many conscious beings just walking around and having the same thoughts that I'm having.
Do you believe in God?
On a day-to-day basis. I believe of a higher power, universe. I think I believe in God, yeah.
Not necessarily as like a human, as like a physical...
Figure. No, but I believe in everything that...
I think that anyone who believes in God believes in aliens consciously or unconsciously. I think it's crazy to suspect that this is it. It's nuts. There's too many fucking coincidences.
This is also so weird, dude. Like, what is this? What the shit is this?
Just, I think about this all. I think about this all the time. Not aliens, but I think about like, I see this, right? I see my finger, and I go, I want to move my finger, and I can just move my finger. What? How? How does having the thought move my finger? You know what I mean? Like blood. Rory Scovel has this amazing bit on, I don't remember the album, but he's got this amazing bit where, you know, just like when somebody explains that to you, they explain it in detail and you're still like, what are you talking about? Like somebody's like, his bit is like, how does music get on the records? And he's like, and somebody's like, oh, you know, it goes in the grooves. What does that mean? It goes in the grooves? And like, yes, there's a simple explanation for, I want to move my finger, blood, you know, the brain sends a signal to this artery,
so many
blood shoots
that
to
you
that.
don't even think about.
But what does that mean?
That was like my grandma the other day. We were playing Bluetooth on the speakers, and she was just fascinated that the Bluetooth came from my phone.
What is? How does that work?
Yeah.
How does that work?
Instead of like going up to the jukebox and press play.
How does music shoot through the air? Okay, so saying all that, I don't think that like the alien, like all of these things that we're seeing is pure coincidence. There's no way that all of these fucking things are all coincidental.
You ever do mushrooms or LSD?
Never.
Something like that?
I
Anxiety, just thought.
I would love to do it under like a doctor's.
Like ketamine therapy? You hear that they're doing this?
Yeah. I've looked into it.
You should do it. I used to do a lot of ketamine.
All right, see you later. No, I mean my psychiatrist. We've talked about that being the next step if my bipolar meds are not like.
Bro, I think it would change your wiring a little bit.
I don't know if I want that.
In a good way, I think.
No, I know. I don't know if I would want that.
Sorry, in the hole.
I mean, some of these feelings are irrational. Like, I had these before I got medicated. I was like, I can't be on drugs. I don't, I want to be clear. I don't
smoke weed.
Yeah, I smoke weed every day.
Yes.
I was like, I don't want to be cloudy. I don't want to, I want to feel emotions just because I'm on antidepressants. And it's like, it doesn't do any of that stuff. It just keeps you regulated so that the fucking highs aren't super high and the lows aren't super low. And I feel that way about like mushrooms now. And I think I'm at a point where like, let my kid get to like 15 or 16 or 17, something in that range where I feel like I can do mushrooms again.
Why is that?
I don't know, like that, like I'm gonna jump off a building and she's gonna be like fucked for her life. I like have these irrational thoughts, or just like I wanna. Let's say it changes my fucking brain and I'm like a different father to her in her adolescent years where she's like learning to be a human being, that kind of shit.
Does she have friends that come over to the house now, or not yet?
I mean, we have like play dates and stuff.
Is it interesting to watch two kids at that age interact, whether it's over like blocks or painting?
It's fascinating to just watch your kid. Like, I'm very like dumb where I'm like, she was cum. Like my brain thinks like that all the time. Where she'll be drawing a picture. I'm like, that was cum. That's great. That was like my
your 20,000th load.
Right. That was like. That picture, that cum just did math? That's crazy.
Yeah, that's got to be simulation right there.
Let me try and find this picture.
Two left socks, by the way.
I know. It's bad.
No, it's fine, dude. I wore a gray sock and a white sock to the gym today, and I also wore it one time on the podcast. This was like 2 weeks ago with TJ Francis. He was like, Ted Jones, I thought you had your shit together. You're wearing two different colored socks, and I realized... It doesn't matter if you guys are wearing two different color socks. It's like, you think Steve Jobs cared about what outfit he put on? No, he put on the same goddamn black turtleneck and jeans as you did every day.
Okay, let me find this. Oh, okay, I found it. I'm just going to save it before I forget. Okay, so this is why I believe that aliens and God exist.
Wait,
okay?
is this a video you took?
No. This isn't like an alien encounter or anything like that. This is just my belief that there's like a higher power, okay? Inclusive
Are you
of
showing
aliens.
me a video right now?
No, I'm going to show you a picture.
You want to send it to me so I can pop it up for them?
Yeah. So this has happened twice in my life. I lived in Pittsburgh after college, where I started comedy.
Oh, yeah, we talked about that for a little bit.
Do we talk about my roommates? No, I don't know. Doesn't matter. We'll talk about it again. You can cut it if I did. I'm talking to these roommates, random roommates I move in with. Craigslist. Before like, random roommates was like even popular. This is like dangerous. And young people went to Penn State, my age. We both got hired at the same company. They had like a wall. It was like, oh, these are all the people moving to Pittsburgh. Like, you know, maybe you need a roommate, maybe you need friends, blah, blah, blah. I find this guy at Penn State, my age. We move in together, and we start totally random. Never met this guy in my whole fucking life. We have a conversation, and we're like, oh, you know, what did you go on spring break? And he's like, yeah, I went to Mexico.
PV.
Yeah, PV. And I'm like, I went to Mexico. He's like, I'm like, oh, I went to Mexico too. I'm like, what year? He's like, last year. I'm like, so did I. He's like, what hotel did you stay at? He goes, same fucking hotel. I'm like, what week did you go? He goes, same fucking week. We were in Mexico at the same time, same week, which is crazy.
Same hotel.
Same hotel. And then I go, wouldn't it be crazy if like we looked at a bunch of photos from our trip and saw each other in each other's backgrounds? Go through. There's a fucking photo of me playing volleyball in a thong, which that photo I don't have.
Damn it.
Me playing volleyball in a thong and him in the background getting suntan lotion rubbed on by his girlfriend. That happened once. Okay. Which is crazy that exists.
Yeah.
Then, second time, I moved to New York. I meet a friend in improv class at UCB. We start having a conversation, and I was like, you know, where are you from? She's like, I'm from Pittsburgh. I was like, I just moved here from Pittsburgh. And she was like, I just moved here from Pittsburgh. And I was like, what did you like to do in Pittsburgh? And she was like, you know, I loved going to concerts. I'm like, me too. What was the last concert you went to? She's like, I went to this Gavin DeGraw, Andy Grammer concert. And I was like,
very niche.
I was at that fucking concert. And I was like, wouldn't it be fucking crazy if we had photos and we were in each other's photos? And we're in this fucking improv class and we look at these photos. So that she took a photo of a sunset.
That's
okay?
at the Gavin DeGraw
This
concert?
is at the Gavin DeGraw concert.
All right, pop it up right here. You guys are seeing it right here.
It rained.
Yeah.
Okay, we're at this Gavin DeGraw concert.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is just a seemingly innocuous picture. And then you fucking zoom in. Who's that?
Is that you?
That's fucking me. And
that's a picture she took.
She took. And that's me. And I was in this section of the concert for under 60 seconds. Under 60 seconds, I was in this spot.
It's a simulation you're arguing for?
No. I'm arguing that there's a fucking higher power. That there's
simulated higher power, that somebody's controlling us and things that we do?
Are you saying God, or you're saying like we're in a computer simulation?
Yeah. I'm saying like the game, The Sims. I'm saying something like that, but higher form.
No.
I don't know. I think that
I would unravel too if I got there. My I would quit comedy. I'd move to the woods if I started to think like that. Because then I was like, what's the point if it's not real?
Well, but then again, what is the point if it is real? Speaking of Israel,
that it is real. That's the point. That this is it. If it's a simulation, then isn't there something on the outside? Don't I get the fucking thing pulled out of the back of my head?
Truman Show.
Love Truman Show.
Yeah, me too.
Have you watched it recently?
Yeah.
5 years?
Yeah.
It's great.
It's so
There's
good.
so many things that you learn.
Yeah, and that's also the same thing with like movies from like 20 years ago. Watch it again, you know, when I'm not 15 or whatever, however old I was, 10.
That's the movie. Have you ever seen the movie The Game?
Maybe. What is that?
With Michael Douglas?
I don't think so.
Don't go out tonight. Watch The Game. Get high and watch The Game. I promise you, your brain will change. So he like hires this. Let me read you the actual bio. Do we need to end this at any point?
No, dude.
I have nowhere to be.
Neither of us have shows.
I mean, I'm
you have a kid though.
She's already gonna like she starts bed at 7 o'clock and it goes from 7.
She's already asleep.
It goes from anywhere. No, she starts bed. It goes anywhere from like 7 to 7:30 or 7 to like 10.
Does she sleep like 12 hours through the night?
Yeah, but if I show up anywhere in that range,
then she's
like
fired up. She's like, let's play blocks.
Right. So I tend to like, even if I don't have to go home, I tend to just stay out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me read you this background. Okay. Nicholas Van Orton, who's Michael Douglas, is a successful banker who keeps mostly to himself. When his estranged brother Conrad, Sean Penn, returns on his birthday with an odd gift: participation in a personalized real-life simulation game. Nicholas reluctantly accepts, initially harmless. The game grows increasingly personal, and Orton begins to fear for his life as he eludes agents from the mysterious game's organizers. With no one left to trust and his money gone, Orton must find answers himself. So he doesn't understand whether or not it's real or in a simulation the entire movie.
Dude.
It's fucking heavy.
You know when that happens to me the most is like when I'm supposed to wake up at a certain time and maybe the alarm goes off, and then I will envision myself up and like peeing, and then like 5 seconds later I'll
Piss
be
your
back
pants?
in bed. No, that'd be
You're just
awful.
describing you pissing
Yeah,
your
just
pants?
peeing my pants. No, but then like it happens like 4 or 5 times.
I beat my alarm by like 60 seconds all the time.
Yeah, that also has happened to me previously, where I'll just like wake up and I'll be like, oh, it feels like 3:39 in the morning, and I'll be exactly right. You ever do that? Not that I wake up at 3:39 in the morning.
Oh, yes, that you'll like have a feeling of what time it is in the
Yeah,
day.
and I'm exactly right.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty explainable. I think your body gets adjusted to like your circadian rhythm.
What time do you go to sleep?
Shows or no shows? If I have no shows and I'm not working,
Yeah.
meaning like I'm not editing or writing or anything like
Yeah.
that, I'll get in bed at 10:30 and I'll go to bed probably 11:30. If I have shows, 90 minutes after I get home.
People were saying that before the light bulb was invented, we were sleeping like 10 or 11 hours, which is a crazy
100%.
thought. But we were also dying younger.
Yeah, I don't think those are correlated. I don't think we were dying younger
Because we were
because
sleeping,
we were sleeping
too much.
longer. I think we were dying younger because penicillin didn't exist.
Right. Neither did fentanyl. The good kind. Isn't that crazy how like just the perfect amount of fentanyl is a miracle drug, and
I
then
don't know.
just a little bit more is zombie land?
Fentanyl is
Pharmaceutical.
no, I know that,
believe.
but it's anesthesia.
I don't know. They have fentanyl patches for like old people. I think it's like painkillers.
It's kind of like morphine.
Yeah. My aunt had like hundreds of pads from her mom, and then went to the police station to just like hand them in because she
You
didn't know
can't
what
just
to do
throw
with
them in the
it.
trash, yeah.
And they wouldn't take it. She had to go to another police station. They wouldn't take it. So she wrapped it up in like 10 layers of duct tape and then just put it in the trash. So there could be a homeless person, a garbage man, just living it up right
Probably
now.
dead. Probably dead. I guess a fentanyl patch is regulated, and it's probably hard to die.
Yeah, but I mean, if you put like 20 on, it's probably...
Do you know anyone that
Like
died
different-
from fentanyl poisoning?
No, thanks God, no.
Yeah.
Growing up in the city, I did know a lot of kids who were like sober by 21,
Yeah.
where they had issues drugs-wise, drinking-wise, and just completely sober by 30, but starting at, before they were 21. It was interesting growing up in the city because there were so many distractions and so much going on, where growing up in the suburbs, I mean, you tell me if I'm wrong, there was really only that one or two kind of parties to go to on the weekend, and your parents kind of knew where you were at. And hopefully there wouldn't be drunk driving, but that would probably be the only case where kids would really, or where parents would really worry about, is the drunk driving.
Yeah.
I would think.
That's pretty accurate. I'm raising a city kid, and part of me is like proud of it
Yeah.
because I do think like,
It's different. You're seeing all different types of cultures.
yeah,
Really open.
like she's the
opening her up.
only white kid in her class.
That's great. Well, yeah.
And no, just great.
Yeah.
I hope I didn't give you the wrong facial expression. Well, no, it's great. I love it.
Do you want to send her to school in New York City, middle school and high school, like public
No.
school in the city?
No, we live in Jersey. We
No,
live
I
in
know, but
Hoboken.
that's what I was asking.
No.
Why is that?
Because I don't know why. I guess I don't have as strong of opinion as I just came off.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's money. I don't have the
Well, public high school, I said.
Yeah, but you can't send a Jersey kid to a New York public high school, can you?
I think you can take that entrance exam to the high school where you go to Beacon, Stuyvesant, Bronx, or Brooklyn Tech. You take like one of those big
yeah.
exams.
I mean, if it's public school, I would
But
be
you
open
might
to
need,
it.
Yeah, you might need to be a New York resident. I'm not sure.
But I can't afford fucking
at the
$30,000.
moment, bro, you will be able to, but not at the moment. Sure.
I want to be very clear.
Yeah.
Okay. Who you are, I really believe if you're a good person, who you are before fame and success is who you are when you have fame and success. If you're a shitty person, you start to really
Magnifies
change
it.
who you are. Granted, like it's slightly different when you're like, I was dirt poor and had nothing, there's a different conversation. Okay, talking like people that come from middle class or upper middle class when they get millions and millions of dollars. I think it is irresponsible for me fiscally, and I don't know if the benefits are there for her educationally to spend $20,000 a year on school.
And that's light.
That's light.
Yeah, like 60,000.
Right. And I also like to the same thing is like I paid $37 for these pens. Okay? They're knockoffs.
These are 25.
Great. Those
Amazon.
Well, these are Amazon too. Okay? These are Amazon.
Yeah, they look good.
When I have money, not if, when I have money, I don't want to be spending $200 on pants. Maybe my $35 pants go to $55 pants, $75 pants. But like these people that are spending like thousands of dollars
on the Gucci t-shirt, the Balmain jeans.
Even forgetting about like that's what's it called? Stealth wealth. Like even like that is like new money shit. Stealth wealth like Succession shit.
Yeah.
Like they're wearing like, or you watch The Bear, like you watch The Bear?
I've heard so much about it.
Okay. The guy on The Bear, he's like a blue collar kind of guy, but the t-shirt that the costume designer has him in is like a $275 white t-shirt, just regular white t-shirt, and it's like, bro, I can get 700 t-shirts for that.
Yeah.
And like I never want to be that person who like, I think it's irresponsible to spend $200 on a pair of pants. I think it's crazy. I'm sure people do it, and I'm sure I have friends that fucking do it, and I don't care.
I had a period of time where I was spending stupid money on that, like on clothes.
How much?
No joke, like a couple $100 on Gucci t-shirts, jeans, and this
a
was
t-shirt.
Yeah, bro.
It's great. This is one of.
This is before. I mean, I was a club promoter for like a few years.
There's nothing that has ever made more sense.
Dude, everyone says that, and it was a lot about appearance and image, and I think like. I don't want to say like the ketamine changed who I am, but I had jaw surgery. I went through like a few weeks of consistently not eating where I just lost like a lot of weight, where I lost like 30 pounds and taking pain medicine. It kind of just like altered the way I was thinking. And like you said initially, just like taking into account what actually matters. I was like, dude, does any of this actual just stuff that I'm wearing on my body fully matter, or like? So did you
duct tape it and wrap it like fentanyl patches so that no homeless guy was? What did you do with it?
What? Some of the shirts and clothes I have.
You still have them?
They're buried in my closet. Yeah, I don't
over
wear
here
it anymore. Yeah.
Can I see one of these Gucci shirts?
Yeah, I'll bring it out.
I want to see it.
1 second.
Is it like real like Armenian arms dealer?
I'll show you two of them.
Okay. Oh my God. Of course, that's the shirt. This is the shirt that I pictured in my head. What's the plan when this gets dirty? Like,
well,
do you kill yourself?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, have you ever worn
the shirt?
This?
I haven't. Yeah, when I used to wear it, but I haven't worn the shirt in probably 8 years.
But like,
so I guess it's a collector's item now, to be honest.
But you're not scared to like walk around in this thing? Like, you weren't like fearful?
Well, no, dude, because I was at the club and like all the people around me were rich Turkish businessmen. Who were like, who is this American kid at the table next to me spending more money? I need to spend money. So this is me spending money. Instead of having a Rolex, this is me spending money. So I'd make $500 in one night and I go buy a t-shirt to like keep the upkeep.
This is like not wealth anymore. This is like,
dude, I know. And I think it's more so now.
It's like all like stealth wealth shit.
Yeah. A lot more people used to wear obnoxious kind of clothes within like the last 5 years. Yeah, it smells like I haven't worn it in a while, right? Yeah, that's all Ted Jones. Really?
I mean, there is a stain on this.
No!
I want to be clear.
There's not?
Right there. What are you talking about?
I could barely see that. Fuck! All right, well, whatever. It's fine. But yeah.
But like, especially...
But this was a period of time, dude, when I seriously cared so much about material possessions, and that's when I was fucking lost, man. Doing drugs, drinking too much, promoting clubs, not knowing who I really was.
How many of these shirts would you like? How much money do you think you have
in your t-shirts?
Like not like shirts that you don't wear anymore that are these things. How much?
So let's say total. This is probably around 900 in total. probably around $1,200 in T-shirts that
So
I have. That I
one more shirt.
yeah. So I think one or two more shirts. No, but I used to get Givenchy T-shirts.
I don't even know what
You know
that
that. Dude, this is just a period of time, man, where I was lost, and I think that it's a good representation of clothes don't buy you happiness. Money maybe so, but
I don't think anything
clothes.
buys you happiness.
No, but I think progress buys you happiness, as my boy Tony Robbins would say.
Progress
Yeah.
buys you happiness.
Yes, dude.
Give,
Or it doesn't buy you.
give me more.
Any sort of progress. Like, let's say your daughter takes her first steps.
She's been walking for a while.
Right, but
if she just took them, that wouldn't be happy.
Well, but she started speaking. You know what I mean? What happened first, by the way? Did she start speaking or walking first? What usually happens?
Speaking first. Speaking.
I think it's progress on any level.
It's kind of they're kind of like around the same time. Progress on any level buys you happiness.
Doesn't buy you.
Yeah,
It doesn't
buy is
buy
the wrong
you.
phrase.
Yeah. Gives you happiness. There's no happiness without progress. Or like a step forward.
You sound like Obama now.
Yeah. Step forward. No progress.
Not bad.
You're not gonna be happy.
Not great.
I've never
not
done
bad.
Obama, so I'm more of a Donnie T guy. Just kidding. Just kidding. I voted for Biden, but I didn't know he's gonna be fucking moron like this dude. And I also wasn't gonna vote for Trump. And I
He's
also
not
didn't
a
even want
moron.
to vote. Bro.
Tell me why he's a moron.
He's just old.
We're 90.
He's not a moron.
Yeah, he's so old.
Yeah, he's old. But like, dude, he shouldn't be our president next time. And who's gonna run against Trump?
Biden is going to run against.
Is he really gonna run?
Yeah.
He's too old, bro. I should be president. Not right now, but like maybe
First
in
of
like
all,
4 years.
I promise you, if I ever, all I'm saying
They're
is that
gonna
like,
you think I have too many skeletons in my closet?
no, not at all. I'm just saying, like, if I ever see you running for office,
Yeah.
I'm leaving the fucking country.
What are you talking about, bro?
It's
You
not
wouldn't
good.
vote for me?
No,
I think you would.
never.
Bro, if you heard me talk and like try and be serious,
I wouldn't.
you'd vote for me.
I wouldn't.
My grandma said she'd vote for me.
I wouldn't vote for
Shut
you
up, Grandma.
in a fucking relay
an
race.
Yes, you would.
No,
I'm quick.
I want to be clear.
Yeah.
In case I'm not.
Well, bro, what's the main thing that's causing you not to vote for me? My impulse decisions in buying Gucci tees? Because that part of me is over.
That's up there, okay?
yeah.
But you've got $1,000 sitting in your closet. You could easily sell this shit. So
Yeah, I'm not going
you're
to,
not,
though. It
you're
reminds
not,
me of myself
You don't understand
in the
business, you know? So you're not gonna, like, you're telling me that you see the country's in a fucking deficit and
Yeah.
inflation. You got all this shit, this corn lying around in Iowa that you can sell to another country. I don't think you're the guy to do that.
The corn could be good at a future time. Could be worth more than previous.
Then you'll grow more corn. You'll buy another
then I'll
fucking
just
t-shirt.
print more money. Yeah.
I'm not voting for you.
At the current moment, we'll see. We'll come back in a few years, and then we'll re-ask this question.
You can have me on once a month.
I'm gonna hold you to that.
You can text me every day, and I will tell you I will never vote for you. I will set an automatic.
I don't think you're in a high amount of people that would say that. Whatever that meant.
I'm sure this is your new vlog
Yeah,
that you're going
this
to
is
come
my
up
new
with.
vlog.
Where you're
I
like,
am
would you vote
president."
for me? Here are my positions.
Yeah.
Free weed.
Missionary, doggy style.
Did you ever run for like class president or anything like that?
No, dude. I don't think I would have been able to because my grades just weren't good enough.
So there was always, when you had class president, I think there's multiple comedians have done jokes about this, but it's very true. There was one person that was like, I want to make sure that we have a good graduation rate and a good relationship with the teachers and we have enough money for activities. And then there was one person who was just like, soda in the vending machines, vote for me, I'll fuck your wives, that kind of shit. And that person always won.
Well, what about Donald Trump? He kind of did that, soda in the vending machines.
My point exactly. Those people always fucking win because people are stupid. And they just see 2 fucking feet in front of
So
their
you
face.
think I'd win? Or no?
You're Donald
Is that
Trump
your
in this
point?
example?
Well, I don't know. You were saying that I would win or wouldn't win. What's the consensus here?
First
Not
of all,
whether you'd vote for me or not, which you would.
okay. I mean, you're tenacious. I will say that. Like, you don't give up. So that part is, good. Are we asking, like, really? Would you really win?
Bro, I don't know if I would really run though. I don't like. It's a lot of stress. It seems like. So this was semi-hypothetical until you said you wouldn't vote for me.
Do you have
Now I
a
had to
real
convince
desire
yourself.
to
Yeah.
be president?
At the moment?
No, but do you have a desire to be a politician? Like a real desire?
Like Arnold Schwarzenegger type?
What
Eh.
what does that mean?
He's accomplished so much that seems like that's the last
Sure.
role. 55, 60 years old. I maybe have ran a couple marathons. Maybe I did the Ironman. I'm like, all right, what else can I kind of do?
Have
that
you
might
ran
be
a
fun?
marathon yet?
Not yet.
Okay. It takes a full sociopath to run for president. Seinfeld has this great bit in a special, I don't remember which one, where he's just like, leader of the free world, in power of the most powerful country in the entire world, all the codes to the nuclear bombs. Yeah, that sounds like me. It's so true. It's like you have to be crazy to do that.
I don't know.
You might be that crazy. I don't
know, man. I think time will tell. It'll be interesting. We cut back to this 20 years from now.
If you were that successful,
More than that.
be Bill Gates. Go start a foundation, save fucking cleft palates
Go
and
to
shit.
St. James Island? No, I'm not doing that.
Is that Epstein's Island?
Yeah.
The fact that you know the name of the island is suspect. Okay, it's Epstein's Island. Anyone who knows the real name of the island
Little
has
St. James.
fucking been there either to
Been
fuck
there,
kids or
done
get
that.
fucked. Okay, take your money and that's why
go to Africa.
I don't understand like people like Elon Musk, and it's just like Elon Musk can cure like all of American homelessness.
Yes.
And like not do a dent
Right.
in his. He can cure. I looked at some fucking. I say it was an article. It was probably some tweet.
TikTok, yeah.
Yeah, I mean like the level. It used to be like, oh, have you talked to so and so in a while? And you're like, yeah, and you really like. You texted or like you Instagram message or something.
Yeah,
now it's like
so different.
I read this book and it's like I watched a TikTok.
Yeah.
Okay, and like Elon Musk can cure like world hunger, like 9 times over, and like
Still
fund
have $100
for just what he spent for Twitter, just like some crazy fucking number. And it's like if I had $1 billion, like I'd be like I would say, let's say I won $1 billion in the lot. I don't know what the Powerball is right now. Let's say it was $1 billion.
I think it's pretty close to that.
Okay, let's say it's $1 billion. I set me, my wife, my child, my siblings, my best friends up for life. Okay? They never need to work. Their kids don't need to work. I go one generation down. I set my family, my siblings, my best friends, and their children up for life. Okay? Let's say that's $10 million for life. They never need anything. What?
You need more than that.
You don't.
Well, let's say if you're a billionaire, you're going to give them more than 10 mil. 100 mil.
No. What the fuck
What
are you
if
talking
you
about?
want Gucci shirts?
Okay.
100 mil.
I don't surround myself with people that fucking wear Gucci shirts, okay? But you don't wear Gucci shirts now. That's why I surround myself with you now.
That's true.
So I give them $10 million. You put that in a good, investment portfolio. Like you're getting $100,000 a quarter in returns. Okay. After that, I'm setting up a foundation for like 500 mil that I'm just various charities. I'm giving them throwing money at these fucking people. Then that leaves me like 100 mil left. Okay. I've already set myself up, my kids up, all my friends, my family. I've set up the foundation. I got like 100 mil left. I'm fucking just doing stupid shit and just going up to homeless people and being like,
Mr. Beast and stuff.
yeah, just giving, and I'm changing. Like I've put away 500 million to like fix all the cleft palates in fucking Lithuania. Okay, I'm curing diseases. Okay, but then I got 100 million, and I'm going individual one by one, and I'm giving just random people significant amounts of money and changing their fucking lives like on a dot. It's got like, that's why people's like, why does Mr. Beast do this kind of shit? You know how fucking good it must feel to give somebody a Tesla.
So good.
So fucking good.
Better than anything you can really do for yourself.
I mean, sex Well, like I can't. I don't. Even, I doubt Mr. Beast even has sex.
Yeah, he doesn't need to. He just gives away $10K.
Giving some poor person in Walmart $10,000 is the best orgasm you've ever had.
Yeah,
and I've had some good orgasms. I bet. Do you remember a good orgasm?
Yeah, I thought you were like. You remember when you and I fucked?
No, we're not having sex.
Remember.
We've been doing this for an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah, we might as well start.
No, I need to leave soon. But
all right.
Do you remember a specific orgasm that you had?
Maybe, but with like a toxic ex, which is interesting. You know what I mean? I haven't had it with like somebody who well, that's also an interesting thing. You know, you're married, you're in a happy family. You can have but you can have a memory like that where you're like, this seems to be the pinnacle of this particular relationship. Where like, I don't know if I've had.
Did I say my best orgasm was with my wife?
I don't know. I implied that.
You inferred that.
You implied that. I inferred that. Finance. Yeah. I don't know. No, I don't know.
My best orgasm was not with my wife.
It was by yourself?
It was by myself. Yeah.
And you remember it?
Oh.
How old were you?
34. It was a couple of years ago. It's great. I was in LA. I went out for 2 weeks. I was pitching a show, and this is before like you could just do meetings on Zoom. Like that didn't exist like 2 years ago. Like you wanted to have a meeting about a show, you had to go to fucking LA. It was crazy. So I set up like 2 weeks of meetings to sell this fucking show, and I was staying in West Hollywood in like a single room studio apartment that was like in the worst neighborhood.
It was an Airbnb. Well, West Hollywood's nice though, no?
Yeah, but like everyone, if there's a shitty place.
Yeah, there's like
your apartment is great. You walk down, you know.
Yeah, you're gonna get shot.
Right. So I'm staying in this like little tiny apartment. It's got a full bed. It's got a mini fridge, a hot plate. I'm there for 2 weeks. I'm away from my wife. She was not pregnant, but we were like trying, and I'm just like, what am I fucking doing? Like, why am I here? I was so depressed. Every meeting was like pass. And I was just like, I had a show at the Improv. I do the show. I come back to the Airbnb, and I'm like, you know, when you just have the thought, you're like, I am going to go home and into oblivion.
It happens. What grade did you get that set, by the way?
I mean, it was a fucking A+++.
Set? Really?
Oh, I thought you meant my masturbate.
No.
I don't know. Every set, I don't go above an A-. So A-, B+, B. Okay. Somewhere in that range. And I go home and I'm like, I know what. Like people are like, you want to go out tonight? I'm like, oh, no. I'm going home, and I'm gonna just spend an hour with myself. And best orgasm I've ever had in my entire fucking life. In this dingy, shitty Airbnb.
And you had just felt it premeditatively?
You've never been out and been like, I'm so horny right now, I want to go.
No, mate, I have, but
oh, you've been like, I want to go pick up a girl.
No.
No? I'm like, I just want to go home and masturbate.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
I've never...
Especially within like the last few years.
I've never been out and horny and been like, I'm going to try and meet a girl. Never.
Yeah, that takes too long.
It's not even that. It's just like, it's my lizard brain. You know, it's my lizard brain going, all I need to do is come. Whether somebody's there or not doesn't matter. I just got to get the cum out. And I'd rather not spend a lot of money or a lot of work, and I'd just go home and be safe and just come into my hand and throw it in the toilet.
Or eat it, yeah.
Sure. I mean, listen, you got to film yourself doing something, you know? And it was spectacular. I think sometimes I'll be having sex with my wife and I'll think about it. There's judgment on your face.
No, not at all. I just hope that I experience that moment.
Of
sooner rather than later.
Of having sex with a woman and thinking about masturbating?
Yes. I was supposed to be like, having sex with your wife. Just kidding.
You can make that joke. I joke a lot about... My wife is like, you need to stop making jokes about...
Maybe you said last episode she's very cool, which I imagine
she's the best.
If she lets you talk like this.
I am like on scholarship to the nth degree. Like
Harvard, Stanford.
I am out kicking my coverage. Like I'm so fucked if she decides to smarten up. Because like she brings out the best in me. She brings out the best in our family. She is like the fact that I'm talking to you, no offense, is bad parenting. Okay? I should be at home with my kid. Of course I should. I like hanging out with you. I like doing podcasts. But like, I should definitely be at home with my kid right now. But she's like, yeah, go do it. It's going to help your career. I don't know. But she does it and doesn't say a fucking
Well,
peep.
that's the best partnership, man.
I think. But until you fuck her and then
it'll be an even better one.
I don't
Ari,
know.
we're popping up your Instagram, so please let us know what it is and where we can find you soon.
They call me Ari on all platforms. Ari spelled AHRI. You can go to my website. I got all my dates. They call me Ari.com. I'm going to be in Vermont in October, Philly, Central PA.
You're doing an hour in these places?
I'm doing, yeah, those are all headlining. And then I'm in the city all the time. And then I got a parenting podcast called Never Not Tired with Casey Balsham. Very funny comedian, podcaster, mom. Never Not Tired on all podcast platforms. You want to fuck my wife? She lives in the... No. Thank you, buddy.
Ari, thank you so much, bro. Guys, thanks so much for listening and tuning in. Follow this guy. He's hilarious. And then we'll see you next time. Peace.